Okay, so have you ever, like, imagined stepping into one of those flight simulators for the first time?
Oh, yeah.
You've got the controls, you kind of know the theory, but then suddenly it feels real.
Right.
That's the thing about simulation.
Total.
And it's not just for pilots.
Yeah, no, no.
Today we're diving into the world of Moulage,
Okay.
the art of creating those like ultra realistic medical scenarios.
Yeah.
Those fake wounds and injuries that just look way too convincing.
I've seen some, like, really good ones.
You've been doing some digging.
Yeah, some really interesting research on how to do this, get this, on a budget.
No way.
I know, right? We've got it all.
Really?
Yeah, academic studies, practical guides, even testimonials from students.
Wow, I am so ready to like get my hands a little,
Yeah.
maybe not messy, but definitely intrigued.
Definitely intriguing.
And to help us break all this down, we've got an expert, someone who can connect the dots
Oh, stop it, Hugh.
between like medical simulation, the best educational practices, maybe even a little bit of theatrical know-how.
Well, I do love a good costume drama, so.
Okay, before we get into like DIY blood and guts, let's start with the basics. What exactly is Moulage?
So think of it like special effects, but with that medical twist.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all about creating these super realistic simulations of injuries and medical conditions, really to give like medical students that essential hands-on experience.
Right, and it's not just about slapping on some fake blood. We're talking like replicating everything.
Oh, yeah, from cuts and burns to some seriously intense stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's not exactly a new fad either, you
Yeah.
know? This goes way back, like way back to 16th century Florence.
Wow.
Yeah, they were using Moulage for anatomy and dermatology, showing that this blend of art and medicine, it's got a long history.
It's so interesting how it takes something that you might just like read about in a textbook and it makes it real.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone can read about a second-degree burn,
Yeah.
but seeing it, feeling a realistic simulation, that's got to leave a mark.
Absolutely. And that's where those aha moments come in. Remember you mentioned how much you love those?
I do.
Well, the Miller Pyramid, it actually explains why simulations are so good at creating them. It shows how hands-on learning, that kind you get with Moulage,
Yeah.
it helps that knowledge stick, you know?
That's all right.
Because you're not just reading about it, you're experiencing it.
Yeah, and we both know that Moulage can be pretty resource intensive.
Oh, tell me about it.
It can get pricey.
Yeah.
Those fancy materials, the pre-made kits,
Mhm.
they don't come cheap.
They do not.
And for medical institutions, especially ones with like tighter budgets, that can be a huge roadblock.
A huge barrier.
That's what makes the research you found so exciting.
I know, right?
There are ways to create these immersive learning experiences
Yeah.
without breaking the bank.
Without breaking the bank, exactly. And it's not about sacrificing quality at all.
Right.
It's about resourcefulness and ingenuity.
Yeah.
And those are skills that are pretty essential to medicine, wouldn't you say?
100%.
Yeah.
So you ready to dive into some surprisingly affordable medical magic?
I'm so ready. Let's do it.
Let's get into like the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
I am dying to know.
Chuckles.
What kind of everyday materials are we talking here? Give me the inside scoop.
Okay, get this. We're talking tissue paper
What?
for burns.
No way.
Yeah.
Baby.
Basic makeup
Okay.
for a whole range of injuries.
Oh, wow.
It's like, you know that moment on a cooking show
Yeah.
where they whip up some gourmet meal with just like Cantry staples?
Yeah.
It's that kind of magic,
Right.
but for wounds.
That's amazing.
Right.
And it's not even just about being like cost effective, although I love that. But one study mentioned that like with practice,
Yeah.
using these DIY techniques, they could cut the prep time for these Moulage scenarios from 3 hours down to 30 minutes.
That's incredible. Talk about a game changer.
What kind of impact do you think that has for educators, medical educators?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, first of all, just practically speaking, it frees up so much time and resources, right? So
Yeah.
that they can actually focus on what matters, which is teaching.
Right.
And particularly for institutions with like really limited budgets, this is huge.
Oh, yeah.
It means they don't have to compromise, right? They can still offer that same level of training, that hands-on experience without like, you know, breaking the bank.
Now, you might be wondering, sure, it's affordable and it's quicker to make, but is it as effective?
Right.
And you actually found research that answered that very question, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
There was this fascinating study
Okay.
done at the University of Johannesburg
Okay.
where they really put this low-cost moulage to the test. But what I love is they didn't just look at the materials themselves.
Oh, okay.
They went straight to the source.
Okay.
The medical
Students.
students. They wanted to know, what's the experience like from your end?
Yeah, what do they think? Were they fooled by the tissue paper and the makeup magic?
You're going to love this.
Okay.
The feedback was overwhelmingly positive.
Wow.
Students found it incredibly realistic.
Wow.
And get this, some even preferred it
Really?
to the more expensive alternative.
Hold on. They preferred it. Why? Why would that be?
Well, it comes down to some key concepts in simulation design.
Okay.
Things like face validity,
Okay.
content validity. And before you roll your eyes, let me explain.
No, please explain, because I was going to roll my eyes.
Shocked. How chuckles. So face validity, in a nutshell, just means, does it look and feel like the real deal?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So it passes the realistic test.
Oh,
Even with the,
exactly.
even with simple materials. What about content validity?
So that's all about whether the simulation actually reflects the medical scenario
Okay.
accurately. So students can really practice those skills they need
Right.
in a realistic context.
Right.
And again, the students, they gave it a big thumbs up.
Wow.
They felt like they were dealing with real life situations, even though it was all, cleverly crafted
Yeah.
with affordable materials.
It's like those optical illusions where, like, your brain is convinced something's real even when you know it can't be.
Exactly.
But in this case, that, illusion, it's a good thing because it means the students are getting the same quality learning experience, but without that hefty price tag.
Exactly.
And speaking of pushing boundaries, your research uncovered some really cool innovations
Yes.
in the world of low-cost moulage that go way beyond just tissue paper and glue. Oh yeah, those 2D tattoos, blew my mind a little.
All right.
It's like temporary tattoos, but for, medical wounds. Talk about realistic.
It's incredible.
And then there's, the whole world of hybrid simulations
Yeah.
where you've got actors, playing the role of patients
Right.
with these super convincing moulages.
It's amazing.
It's really blurring the lines between medical training and, a movie set.
Totally.
Almost expect to see, a director yell, "Cut!" That's where things get really interesting, right?
Yeah.
Imagine a world where, virtual reality and augmented reality are, seamlessly integrated with Moulage.
Oh, what?
Students could be, treating these virtual patients,
Yeah.
practicing complex procedures, but all within these, immersive digital environments.
Right.
And all using this affordable, accessible technology.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about a whole other level of realism here.
Oh, yeah.
It's like stepping into a video game, but with, real-world stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying this is, within reach?
It's closer than you think. I mean, the technology it's already so advanced and it's evolving rapidly.
Yeah.
But even more exciting than the tech itself, I think, is the shift in mindset it represents.
Yeah.
It's about embracing that creativity, problem-solving, resourcefulness, because at the end of the day, those are the qualities that make a great medical professional.
Totally.
It's not just it's about being able to, adapt
Right,
and
right.
think on your feet.
Yeah.
And this approach to Moulage, it really encourages that.
Absolutely. It's like that saying, necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes, exactly.
And in this case, the need for affordable, accessible medical simulation, it's driving some seriously impressive innovation.
It really is.
This deep dive has, really opened my eyes to the possibilities.
It's pretty remarkable.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
I know, right?
There's so much more to explore in the world of low-cost moulage.
Yeah,
And, the future of medical simulation in general.
absolutely.
Well, on that note, thank you so much for taking this deep dive with me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
This was so eye-opening.
It was my pleasure.
And to all our listeners, keep that curiosity alive.
Yes.
If you find any fascinating research on low-cost moulage,
Please.
share it with us.
We'd love to hear about it.
Until next time, happy learning.